India has a lot it can do in services, but relying on its past of democratic, liberal openness. And if we do that, we can be the first country that transitions directly from agriculture to services without going through manufacturing. So in that case, the premature deindustrialization that Professor Danny Roderick worries about is not a bug for India, it's a feature of the Indian process. Now, last point. We're not going to get there without work. India has deficiencies. Let's be realistic about it. We have a lot of students in universities, we have a lot of students in schools, but as we just talked about earlier, our schooling has big problems even without the pandemic, but with the pandemic, additional problems. And our higher education is not up to the mark in many cases. We need to upgrade in a significant way. So that's job one, increase capabilities. Second, we need a government, because we're going through a more difficult, different path, we need a government that is more pragmatic, transparent, decentralized, and open to challenge. In other words, we need a learning government, a government that sees what's happening, hears it, and adjusts accordingly. Not a government that says, I know, here it is, take it or leave it. And third, we need a world order that is more hospitable to trade and services. So it's not going to happen automatically. There are huge vested interests in services. So India has to, start being part of the process of opening up. I am arguing that because there's a lot more services being performed by industrial countries, it may be a lot easier than perhaps resisting the protectionism that is building up in manufacturing. First point is to give everybody a fair chance. If you want talent, you have to draw from everywhere, including our largest minority, women, but also religious minorities like Muslims and our disadvantaged castes and tribes. So we have to have a society that treats everybody equal. I say this not just because of the economic benefits. A discriminatory society is not just immoral, it is also weak. It is weak because it is internally divided. No minority treated as second-class citizens would stay docile in the face of the oppressive behavior of the majority. That is a fact of history. We just need to look to our neighbor to the south, Sri Lanka, and see what happens when you mistreat a large minority. And so we should know that division offers a handle for outsiders to intervene. We don't want to be divided. This is a time for uniting, and uniting on the basis of equality is the only way to go. Second, people, even the very poor, know what is best for them. So trying to empower people to seek better futures for them, for their children, is part of this process of change. Just don't think it's going to be top down. Allow it to be bottom up. And allowing it to be bottom up means, for example, putting cash in their hands, direct transfers, that they can buy what they want. And what often it will be is not drink, as some people argue. These guys are going to blow it away. Instead, it's going to be better education for their kids. And they're going to be part of that process. And once they're paying for it, they also have more ability to influence the quality because they actually have the money and they're not getting a freebie from top down. This also means that government has to be more responsive. And one way to make government more responsive is to decentralize functions, funds, and functionaries. Not just from the center to the state, but from the state to the local government, to the panchayat. And lastly, we need much more weight on individual rights and freedoms so that people can be critical. A lot of the acts like the UAPA or the sedition law is used to stamp down on criticism. Somebody who criticizes is a Naxalite. They are unhappy and against the state, and we're going to put them away. That suppresses criticism, often used by lazy government officials to essentially protect their turf. We need to remove these acts and work far better in not using the crutch of these draconian acts in order to provide a good security environment. We can do better than what colonial governments did in the past.